welcome to my channel, Rosie Eileen. I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who watched my last video. I really appreciate all the comments I got and all the likes and the good feedback. However, I do apologise again for the bad editing and camera quality and so on, but it will get better as I continue making more videos. So today is the first video of the Tuesday ones. They will be about true crimes or paranormal activity stuff or creepypastas on Reddit, which I'm super excited about because it's my favourite side of the YouTube. So today is going to be about the first known American serial killer, who went by the name of H.H.Holmes, who was originally named Hermit Mudgett, was born on May 16, 1861, in New Hampshire in America. He grew up with a wealthy family and was known to have a high intelligence at a very early age. However, he didn't always start out to like medicine like he went on to. His first encounter with a doctor, he used to be terrified of them, and he was eventually locked in a room with a doctor's skeleton, which then made him overcome this fear, and he began to have an interest in medicine and medics and science, which then went on to him capturing animals, dissecting them while he performed surgeries. Now this is an early sign of someone who is more than likely to become a serial killer or a murderer, as it's seen in Jeffrey Dahmer, which was a serial killer back in the 80s or 70s, I'm not 100% sure on that one, where he decided to capture animals and dissect them and for their bones. It is also claimed that he killed one of his childhood playmates. However, this was never proven, or there was no arrest or anything like that. Like I said, this was just a claim. But it's very interesting considering he used to kill animals when he was younger, which it actually may have been true if you listen to the rest of this video, and you'll see why. So Mudgett attended med school in his early 20s, but he was almost not allowed to graduate as he was done for educational fraud. He became a travelling book salesman and collected all the money and kept it instead of giving it in. This is the first known fraud that he had committed. However, Holmes was known to be a charming man and he was let off with this educational fraud. Then he went on to buying things on credit, keeping the goods and never paying it back. Again, he was let off with his charms and his personality, which is absolutely crazy, right? In 1886, he moved to Chicago, where he changed his name as Dr. H.H. Holmes. He then used his charms again to get a job as a pharmacist. He then bought the building off the couple, but let them keep their apartment, which was above the store. Then that couple in the apartment had suspiciously moved away, and he bought the store for himself. He then later on bought the lot across the road from the pharmacy store. He then built a hotel on the second floor, another pharmacist on the first floor, apartments on the top floor. His office was on the second floor in the hotel. This building was later known as the Murder Castle. From his office, it's known that he had secret passages, locked and trapped doors all around it so he could lure his victims in and kill them. He also had soundproof rooms and gas jets, making his victims unable to breathe. He would then dissect the bodies and make them so unknown you couldn't recognise them, and sold them as practices for med schools. By then, he had married 3 times, and his third marriage, she became pregnant, and he wanted her to have an abortion that he wanted to perform himself, but he ended up killing her and her 12-year-old daughter in his murder castle. He would mainly target women, as he would get close to them, become engaged to them, make sure he secured all their life savings, and then kill them. He would also do this with his employees, making sure they had their life savings on them, and he would then also kill them and take their money. He was then seen as suspicious and sent to the George Chamberlain offices and confronted by 24 creditors and a detective. However, he pleaded with them and used his charm, and they sent him out of the room to discuss what they were going to do with him next, whether they would let him off or whether he would be charged. Now, he left the room and ran, and he left Chicago after that because he knew they were onto him now. But he did give himself some time using his charms. He then asked someone he knew, called Ben Pitzel, and asked him to fake his own death and claim life insurance. However, that was Ben Pitzel's plan, but H.H. Holmes didn't want him to fake his death. He was going to kill him himself. So Ben Pitzel purchased $10,000, and they both travelled and did other acts of frauds in many countries across America. Ben's wife then became suspicious and tried to get in contact with them. So H.H. Holmes, after killing him, decided he was going to write a letter inviting his 3 children out to see him so there were no more suspicions. However, he killed all 3 of the children and burnt one of them. In 1894, he was tried and sentenced to death after being guilty of 27 murders, and there were most likely so many more because they were unable to find evidence. And when they discovered the murder castle, they would find bits of ribs in acid, women's shoes in the secret passages, and so on. So this man, for a long time, had killed probably over 27 people altogether and got away with most of them because he used his charms. He also committed fraud, and he was very, very greedy when it came to money, as you can see. That's the story of the first known American serial killer, and I must say he sounds like one of the most, not incredible, but scariest serial killers to get away with fraud and murder, and most people didn't have a clue. Also married and did have children. So yeah, that is my first story on a true crime case. Hope you come back for next week's video, and that video is going to be on the real case of the Annabelle doll as seen in the Annabelle film. So I'm very, very excited to talk about that. However, the next video is on Friday at 1 o'clock. I hope you all like it, and I'll see you then. Bye!